Jaylen Wright, big opening off the right side. Off to the races and maybe gone. Jaylen Wright, one snap, touchdown, Tennessee.
Hello, thank you for joining Dynasty Degens Rookie Profile Series. We are joined again by JC at JCJ Dynasty. JC, how you doing?
Nerd, how are you? Long time no see. Yeah, I'm happy to be here doing the rookie previews and stuff. We got an exciting one today we're talking about.
No matter how many times I've said your handle on a pod, I always fumble it for whatever reason. I think the second J in there really just like, I just want to say JC Dynasty. Yeah. But the second J always throws me for a loop there. But we do have an exciting guy today. We are talking Jaylen Wright. So Jaylen Wright out of Tennessee, junior, coming in at 5'11", 210 pounds. His 23 stats are 137 carries, over 1K, so 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jaylen Wright is a firecracker. You know, he's somebody that has, as you see in that clip that I just showed you, I picked that for a reason because that's what he's capable of. That was the first play of the game. He went right up the gut and he went all the way. And that's what he does. He's got elite speed. He's hard to catch. So he's somebody that with his size, his speed really surprises you. I like that he's still like, you know what I mean? He's a big body dude. I think he has the frame to add more weight to that as well. But yeah, so he's got an elite speed, home run ability, as I like to call it. He's got good stop go. So he's a very good, he's good at defensive manipulation. I think he's really good at his wiggle. Like he can get you at the line and really work you. And then he works the holes pretty well. Good vision. He's patient, almost too patient at times, but he's very patient. He does wait. I like to see that. And I like Jaylen Wright. I think we've talked to guys this week that are pretty good value. Like they're, as a whole, like this running back class, people aren't very high on them. But even these guys are a couple tiers below the consensus currently. I think Marshawn Lloyd, as we spoke on earlier in the week, that, you know, people are catching on to Marshawn Lloyd. Even the people that aren't really following these guys year in and year out are starting to realize what Marshawn Lloyd is. But Jaylen Wright is less talked about for sure. And for whatever reason, I mean, I think we know what Jaylen Wright is. Like, he's absolutely electric. This is the kind of guy that you love, JC. You love these guys that, you know, like a Devon Chain or somebody that can just break loose and be gone in a second. You know, like these guys are, you know, potential 6 points at any moment. So, you know, this is one of your guys. You like Jaylen Wright a lot. Tell me why you like him and why you're so high on him.
Jaylen Wright's so underrated and not being talked about that he's not even on the sleeper app. So if you go and do like a rookie mock draft right now, you can't click draft Jaylen Wright. He's just not listed on there. So we did talk about Marshawn Lloyd, and I hope everybody goes and watches that because I love Marshawn Lloyd. He's my RB1 in the class. Jaylen Wright's my RB2. I'll just go into what I'm looking for a little bit when I'm scouting a running back. I want above average traits, and I want something that's going to translate to the NFL. As you just saw from that clip with Jaylen Wright against Georgia, that speed's going to translate. That guy's a home run hitter. He's every bit of 5'11", 210. The 5 traits that I'm really looking for when I'm scouting a running back are the burst. So that 10 yards, as soon as that hole opens up, as soon as they get that handoff, how fast are they hitting that hole? How fast are they hitting their top speed? The lateral movement, is he moving side to side? Is it an issue for him? Does he lack the explosiveness to be able to do so? The improvisation, can he make something out of nothing if there's nothing to be blocked? If there's nothing blocked for him, how many yards can he pick up with the offensive line not doing their job or missing an assignment? Contact balance, how easy is it to bring him down? Can he break any tackles? Is he physical? Does he shy away from contact? Does he bounce too many runs? Does he not want to run in between the tackles? And then receiving ability, obviously in today's NFL with the PPR, upside. You need a guy that could be able to catch, or at least isn't afraid to catch the ball and doesn't let it hit him in the chest every single time. For Jaylen Wright, you kind of alluded to it a little bit in your breakdown. I think he's the most patient running back in this class. And like you said, he may be a little too patient at times, but that athleticism that he possesses allows him to be patient and press the line of scrimmage really well because he has that burst. He has that explosiveness that he trusts his speed to be able to hit that hole as soon as he sees something open up. He's hit 23.6 miles per hour in a game before, which is just blazing fast. And he had a 14% breakaway run rate. Ooh, that's the double R's always get you a little bit. Yeah, the run rate is that's impressive. 14% of the time that he's breaking a longer run than 10 yards. The contact balance, I think, is the best in this draft class at 4.35 yards after contact per carry, which means he's just running through arm tackles. He's not easy to bring down. It's all over his tape that he is constantly moving his feet. He's constantly pursuing more yards. He has great body control to where he could put a hand in the ground and keep himself up and keep pushing forward for more yards. He was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list. So for people that don't watch college football, Bruce Feldman typically highlights a bunch of guys in the preseason during the spring camps and then their subsequent fall practices and stuff, to where this guy is insanely athletic. And Jaylen Wright was one of those guys. He's rumored to be able to vertical leap over 40 inches, that the broad jump is going to be insane, that the 3-cone drill will be below 7 seconds, and that the 40 time could be potentially in the low 4.3s, high 4.4s, which would be, I'm not saying this is a player comp, but athletically profile speaking, that's like an Edgerrin James type of athlete at the running back position, which is very rare, especially for a guy at his size at 5'11", 210, 215. His receiving ability, too, he had 23.6 targets per route run, which is pretty solid for a running back. So essentially every 4 routes that he ran, he got a target. So that's pretty good. He's a natural receiver of the ball. I don't think it's something that he's typically done a ton of at Tennessee. But the first game that I turned on of his was this year against Texas A&M. The very first play, they got him lined up out wide for a screen pass. So he catches the ball. He's out on the perimeter against a corner that's less physical than him, and he takes it for a first down. So Jaylen Wright has a lot of things that I think definitely translate to the NFL, and primarily I think the patience coupled with the contact balance and the burst, I think are really what's going to make him a lot of money come April. I was upset that he didn't play in the Senior Bowl because I think he would have came away turning a lot of heads, and I think Sleeper probably would have listed him in the rookie mock drafts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I like sleeping on guys. I like Sleeper not adding, because there was a time last year where Laporta was not added at all to Sleeper. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we were doing rookie mocks in the Discord almost daily, and Laporta was still not there. And even when he got there, people had no idea who he was, because all these guys are, you know what I mean? They're going off of these mocks. So Laporta was going in the 4th, 5th. You know, you could have got him in the 3rd pretty easily. Most starts that drafted immediately after the draft. So we could be looking at serious value with Jaylen Wright. I don't know. What do you think for DC? Like if he tests extremely well, like we expect him to as an athletic freak, and you know, is somebody's gonna throw an early 2nd rounder on him, or no, maybe like midday 2, probably.
I think it'll be midday 2 as well. I think the drumbeat steadily from like these draft guys is that the NFL isn't thrilled about the running back class. But like you said, big guy run fast at the combine, could jump really high. I mean, people are going to start looking at Jaylen Wright and be like, who is this kid again? Like, let's go back and look at that tape and stuff. And I think they're going to realize that he's not just a workout warrior, that Jaylen Wright is one of the best running backs in this class. That he's put it on tape the last 2 years here as well.
Yeah, Jaylen Wright is definitely going to be a steady riser. And man, like I said, I don't like this. You know, this is the part of the rookie series and everything where we're going over these guys. And there's some guys that I don't even like talking about, you know, like, cause I know that all my league mates and everyone that follows me is probably in a league with me at some point. And I don't want these guys taking them. I want these guys for me. You know what I mean? I want to throw a late 3rd on Jaylen Wright and get crazy value there. But now I'm going to have to spend a mid 2nd or an early 2nd on this guy. And, you know, that's how it goes. So, is there anything that you could think of with Jaylen Wright that might negatively affect him in the NFL?
I think like the number one question that he's going to have to answer is why was the workload so light? So there's like a common misnomer that, oh, if the guy's got a lot of work in college, that means that he's going to break down over the course of the NFL. The reason why guys get a lot of work in college is because they're really good. So typically, if you're getting a lot of work in college, that means you're probably going to get a pretty decent amount of work in the NFL as well. So I think the number one question that he's going to have to answer is why wasn't he given enough work? I think we just saw from like his stats, he had like 136 carries or something like that. So he definitely wasn't a workhorse running back by any means. He certainly wasn't last year as a sophomore. He's a young guy still. He's 20 at this for the NFL draft. Will be 20 years old. So I think that'll be the number one question that he has to answer. And then I think that some of the detractors of Jaylen Wright view him as a satellite back. He had a 74 pass blocking grade per PFF. So I don't think that's a negative part of his game. And even if it was a negative part of his game, you don't get any points in dynasty football for pancake blocks. So who really cares if he can't block or not? I don't, certainly. And I think lastly, something that he's going to have to maybe explain a little bit, but there's nothing that he can really explain, is that he played in the Tennessee offense. So it's a very spread out offense. There's a lot of guys on the perimeter, which tends to leave less guys in the box to stop run plays. So there were runs that he had to where, there's like 5-6 guys in the box, and it's essentially man on man, hat on hat blocking. And Jaylen Wright's just springing for like 20, 30 yards a clip on these runs and stuff because there is nobody there to tackle him. That's just the way that the defense has to play, because they have to be able to cover all these wide receivers on the field, and they have dime packages out there with smaller guys that aren't as physical in the run game. So I think those are the questions that Jaylen Wright has to answer. Ultimately, I don't think any of them are cause for concern for his skill set that we've actually seen when he gets the ball in his hands, though.
Yeah, I think that's always people, like whether you're a Twitter scout or whatever, you have these teams like Tennessee is one of those teams where it's like they're an air raid offense. They're always spread out. They're always, you know what I mean? Like everything is wide open, and people have this, whether it's valid or not, they do have this disclaimer when it comes to a Tennessee player where it's like, watch out. Like, I don't know if you really get the full picture of what kind of player this is based off of the offensive scheme that he's developed in, which I don't think that's Jaylen Wright, but if there's anything that provides a discount for this guy, I'm all for it. So that's fine with me. This is a fun thing that we always do to end a profiler series. Where do you want this guy landing? It's probably the same spots that we listed for Marshawn Lloyd a little while ago, but what's a fun landing spot for this guy to kind of launch into his rookie career?
I think a dynamite spot for him would be Baltimore. And that kills me to say, like, I'm a Steelers fan. Like, I would hate to see Jaylen Wright play for the Baltimore Ravens. I think pairing his athleticism with Lamar Jackson's and him being able to use that patience and that vision to be able to wait on blocking schemes in that offense and stuff. And then I think he would be utilized as a receiver out of the backfield as well. And I think that he would be immediately, the second that he steps on the field, the second best athlete on that team outside of Lamar Jackson, of course. So I think he would be a slam dunk, perfect fit in the Ravens offense.
Yeah. I mean, they really haven't had they had like Keaton Mitchell for a couple games, but they didn't really have like an offensive firecracker in that backfield in a long time. Like we thought J.K. Dobbins was going to be that guy. He flashed a little bit, but unfortunately J.K. Dobbins has the injury after injury after injury, and we didn't really get to see that guy in full force. And we might never see that guy in full force, unfortunately. But yeah, I would love to see that. Like somebody that, I mean, we've seen Lamar. Lamar works with a fantastic running back, and that just elevates that offense so much. So I would like that. Definitely. I love Jaylen Wright. I love that you're joining me today and having you back and talking ball with you, JC. It was a pleasure to have you back on. I feel like we're reeling all the way back to last year when we first started Dynasty Degens. And I don't say it enough, but I appreciate you, and I appreciate you coming on and joining me today, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for having me. I mean, it's an honor to be back here doing this with you. And to be like one of the guests that you brought on with like Jagger and Brandon and Matt Waldman and guys like that for me to have the same platform as guys that I greatly respect. I truly appreciate it. So thank you for
Yeah,
having
man.
me on, my friend.
Love you, brother. All right. Thank you, everybody.